Have you ever felt, well, just plain stuck? Like you're on a treadmill with depression, trying all the usual things, but you're not really getting anywhere new. Today, we're going to talk about a completely different path, one that looks beyond just managing the symptoms and really aims for a full system reset.
Okay, so before we dive into the solution, let's just get on the same page. I'm going to run through a few questions, and these are based on real clinical criteria. Think of it as a quick check-in with yourself. See if any of this rings a bell.
So first up, this is the big one. We're not talking about just having a bad day or feeling bummed out for an afternoon. This is that heavy, persistent feeling of sadness or emptiness that just kind of hangs around, day in and day out.
And then there's this. You know, what doctors call anhedonia. It's when the things that used to light you up, your hobbies, seeing your friends, that show you loved, suddenly feel flat, like a chore. It's almost like the color has just been drained from everything.
And number 3, this feeling that your personal thought fuel tank is just empty. This isn't just being tired. It's a really deep, profound fatigue where even the smallest tasks can feel like you're trying to climb a mountain.
Now, this is a really important point. Look, everyone has a bad week. The real clinical difference, the line that separates a rough patch from a depressive episode, it's all about duration. These symptoms have to be there almost every single day for at least 2 weeks. That's the key.
Okay, so if that 2-week period of symptoms sounds familiar, the next question is always, what do we do about it? But what if the usual approach of just treating the symptoms isn't the whole picture?
And this is where so many people get frustrated, right? You try something, maybe a therapy or a medication, and the symptoms on the surface might get a little better for a while. But if you don't address the underlying cause, it's like just pulling the tops off of weeds. You know they're just going to grow right back.
Which brings us to a really powerful idea. You just can't fix what you can't see. To get to the root of the problem, you need a map. You need to actually measure what's going on inside. Otherwise, you're just flying blind.
So, how in the world do you create that map? Well, this leads us to a whole new way of thinking about this, a new framework. It's a method called CLAR.
I know, it sounds super technical, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple and elegant. The CLAR method is all about getting the thinking part of your brain, that's the prefrontal cortex, back in sync with the feeling part, the limbic system. See, when they're out of sync, your emotions can kind of take over without that logical part to balance things out. The goal is to restore that harmony.
And we're not talking about just one pill or one kind of therapy here. The Amine method, which uses this CLAR framework, is a whole system. It's an entire ecosystem of different approaches all working together for what they call neurotransformation.
So, what does this integrated system actually look like? Well, it's built on a few key pillars, and each one targets a different part of your whole system.
Okay, this table breaks it down really well. The CLAR method is a true body-mind approach. First, you've got the brain's physical wiring, the neuronal circuitry. It uses technologies like TMS to gently stimulate and wake up those circuits. Then it goes deeper, to the subconscious mind, using things like hypnotherapy to help reframe those old negative thought patterns. And finally, it even looks at your body's chemistry, that whole peptide network, to get everything communicating properly again. It really is a complete overhaul.
And here is the absolute most important part. None of this is guesswork. Before anything happens, the very first step is to measure. It's all about creating that super detailed, personalized map of your brain's unique activity.
So what does that look like? Well, this is a readout from an EEG. You can think of it like a live recording of your brain's electrical symphony. By seeing which parts are playing in tune and which parts are off-key, you can create a precise, data-driven plan that is tailored specifically for you.
And to act on that data, the method uses this whole toolbox of really advanced technologies. We're talking about things like brain-computer interfaces to help you retrain your brain in real time, specific molecular interventions, all these different pieces working together to get your whole system back in sync.
You know, a system this comprehensive doesn't just appear out of thin air. It comes from a really unique combination of deep science and, well, incredible life experience. So let's meet the founder, Amin Alias.
This quote, it really says it all, doesn't it? This method isn't just some theory from a textbook. It's born from a life of incredible resilience and overcoming the odds. I mean, to go from being a refugee to graduating from Harvard, that tells you something about understanding the mechanics of struggle and survival.
And his background is just as fascinating. He's a brain researcher, a neuroengineer. He studied medicine in Germany, went to Harvard Pre-Med, and was even a medic and in psychological operations in the U.S. Army. It's this incredible blend of expertise that really forms the foundation of the Clara method. So, what does this all boil down to for you? Well, the core idea here is a really powerful shift in how you see this whole thing.
The goal is empowerment. It's about shifting from being a passive patient to becoming an active expert on your own mind and body. In the founder's own words, he says, "It doesn't matter where you are. I can teach you how to become an expert on your own catalog."
At the end of the day, this data-driven, root-cause approach offers a totally new path, and it's one that starts with understanding your unique brain and biology. If that sounds like the kind of path you've been looking for, you can learn a lot more and find contact info on their website.
So we'll just leave you with that thought. Imagine for a second, what if you had the map? What if you could see the inner workings of your own mind with total clarity? It's a powerful question to ask, because a truly new solution always starts with a new way of seeing the problem.